Welcome to the Creative Spark, C&T Publishing, Restream. I am Sophie Scardacci, and I am here with two amazing guests. This is the dynamic duo. In this case, I've been calling them MJ Kinman, who's actually that side, and Becky Goldsmith, who's on that side. Over there. And I'm sure if you follow us on any of our channels, these are amazing authors and instructors. So today we're going to talk about their newest venture. They came together on Creative Spark of making a class and in an exclusive project that they both have hanging behind them. And it's called Spring Bling. So we're going to talk all about it. And then I'll also throw up some links for if you want to take the class, as well as if you want to see any of their books and products they have at ctpub.com. So good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Or wherever it is. I guess it might be afternoon where you are. I am still in the morning. So why don't you start by telling how you guys decided to come together and make Spring Bling? So maybe Becky, you want to start?
Okay. So MJ and I were in a cohort of teachers at Creative Spark, teachers who visited together. And at one point I said, it would be kind of fun if we did something together, because I'd always wanted to make a gym. And MJ said, sure, that sounds good. And so MJ obviously is in charge of the gym, and my part is the applique. And it was really interesting. I mean, from my perspective, it was a real challenge because I had never thought about coloring a gem or sewing a gem, and then building applique to support a center medallion that I had not designed. That was interesting and fun, and I love a good challenge. So, and for me, this is a class on machine applique, which is new for me on Creative Spark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Becky's material out there already is on handwork. And so that's kind of a fun one. If you've been like, I'm not really a handwork person, Becky's going to give you get to learn from Becky on how to do machine stuff. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And MJ, what were your thoughts when you guys had that idea?
And I completely agree. But, the way I remember it, how there's always 17 million sides to every story, is that back in March or April, I received the C&T catalog of all the new books and products that were coming out. And I just sat down in my living room and I was just paging through going, what's new, and what kind of products. And then I saw Becky's new product called English paper piecing specialty papers. And I had been thinking and talking to some people about the fact that my diamonds, my birthstones, and some of my other patterns could be done using EPP. And I had never done EPP before. I had been approached by a couple of companies to do it, but I'm like, I'm not sure. Well, then this product came out and I was like, oh my gosh. So I literally called up Becky, or I emailed you and I said, hey, I'd love to chat with you. And you're like, okay. And so I'm like, she wants to talk with me. She's willing to talk with me. So, Becky Goldsmith, she's the big fish. And so anyway, we had a great conversation and we Zoomed, and I was telling her about my ideas, and I bought a bunch of the product. And then, Becky, you said, and I remember we were cohorts at C&T's, the Creative Spark piece. And you're like, I'm thinking about doing a collaboration. And I'm like, I'd love to. So, Becky, your patience has been marvelous. And I've learned so much, because here's the deal. I have never done applique piecing before. I learned from a woman who did spectacular applique. And I'm like, okay, that's a league of its own. My brain doesn't work that way. And so I thought, okay, this is cool, because this is my opportunity to learn about applique as well.
And I think that's what's so fun, is each of you learned a new thing from each other in making the actual class and project. And the class is called Spring Bling. I put the link in, I'll put it in again. But what is really cool, this class is, I think at 5.5 hours, I started to lose track. There is so much video content for both of them. This is a really solid class, and it is suitable for an adventurous beginner or beyond. So don't feel like, if you have some skills under your, belt a little bit, you feel free. Like they really walk it through. Go ahead, MJ.
Well, when it comes to my gemstones, people are like, oh, I could never do that. The bottom line is, if you can put 2 pieces of fabric right sides together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you can do this, because it literally is traditional piecing using freezer paper as your template. You basically are putting your freezer paper onto the right side of the fabric, cutting out a 1/4 inch seam allowance around it, putting those two, unit by, facet by facet, unit by unit together. And then you have a diamond or a gemstone. And in the back of the instructions, I have a piece plan. It's basically a step-by-step instructions of how to put piece, piece 1-1 to 1-2. Okay, set that aside. Now 1-3 to 1-4, set that aside. Now put those two together. So honestly, I have been teaching these classes for a couple of years now. And especially with my gem affiliates, when they were looking around the room, they were starting this and they'd never done it before. They're like, this is kind of easy. And I'm like, I know, don't tell anybody. They'll think you're a rock star.
It is. Now, as far as the applique goes, there's the one with all the little pieces that I drew first. That was where I was going. I wanted something that was Art Deco in feeling, that felt like, a grandmother's diamond ring that had those things around it. So I drew that and I made it. And there are some small, and you use freezer paper templates pressed to the top of the applique fabric. You cut it out with a seam allowance, do a little finger pressing, and then glue those edges down, and then sew it down with a blanket stitch. And there's some cool ways to do this with the blanket stitch. It's really easier than you think. Anyway, that one is more intricate. But then MJ and I got to talking after I'd already gotten that one done about, well, could there be an easier way? And if you take that little corner and blow it up big, then you get that, which is so easy and so much faster. I'm not sure, MJ, if I had designed that one first, if I would ever have gotten to the other one.
Honestly, I think they're both beautiful. For me, it was a time issue. Obviously, I wanted to get mine done so we could get this thing launched. But I love the analogy of the grandmother's ring, where we have all, the big diamond, and then you've got all the little pave diamonds around it. I think that's so cool. These actually then are like, let's call them they're the larger gemstones that are around the ring.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I love that idea.
These kind
of
diamonds
look kind of that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow you up, MJ, for a second, because I want to kind of let people see that quilt behind you a little bit better. So here we go. You're going to be highlighted right now. And one of the things that's kind of fun, another instructor on the Creative Spark site is Jennifer Sampu, who has a line of sky fabric, and that is what you used in yours. So you want to talk about how, like, picking fabrics for your gems, and you go through this a lot in the class, by the way, on color and creating a palette.
Exactly. And you know what, the technique is, it's beginners. I mean, confident beginner, if you put together 2 seams, you can do this. The big thing that gets people just, they just freeze is color and fabric selection. And so in the class, I go through the conversations about color in gemstones and picking the colors, and also about fabric selection and how fabric selection impacts the clarity of your diamond. And so you'll find some fun things about gemstones and types of gemstones, and then how different fabrics affect that. But when it comes to color, you guys, the sky's the limit. There is no wrong answer when it comes to color, because gemstones come in every shade, every hue of the rainbow, every shade value, every saturation contrast. It's just fabulous. And so what I have done is I provided some colorways that allow you to see, okay, do I want it to be sort of skewed to the lighter spectrum? Then go from like a white or a very light to maybe a medium tone. Do I want it to be a smoldering ruby or a sapphire? And your lightest ones will be more of a medium tone, and it will go down to a dark, maybe even a black. Or you could go the wide range and make it a diamond with lights and darks and all those sparkling things. Now, I have to be honest with you. This actually is not the Jennifer Sampu fabric.
Oh, I thought it was. Sorry about that.
No, this is actually fabric that was left over from an art quilt that I did for another project. But I have done some work, and her fabric, Jennifer Sampu is part of the Creative Spark CNT family. Her fabric, Sky Fabrics, and the ones the lookbook is going to drop on the 8th, which is 2 days from now. I have done some quilts for that.
That's what I guess I was thinking. Sorry about that, peeps.
I paint my own fabrics, and so her fabrics are so painterly. So, but bottom line is, you don't have to paint your fabrics to do this. You can do solids. You can do textured solids. You can do prints. You can do gradients. You can do hand dyed or hand painted from the artist. I walk you through all of those options.
So
yeah, Priscilla said Jennifer's fabric would be fab with this, and it would. And I sorry about that. I knew there was a conversation. Okay. I'm going to highlight Becky because Becky used more solid colors. Yeah. So there you go, Becky. You're highlighted now.
I went off book because I was making my gems kind of well before the instructions came together.
That's just who you are, Becky. There you go. Overachiever. I love it.
So what I did, I actually made 2 other gems that were pretty much failed attempts. So when I say learning how to do this, for me, it was really learning from the ground up. So I pulled some cherry woods, and I, instead of staying in one color family, you can see I went yellows to reds through the oranges and kind of pink, and then the other side, the yellows through the greens to the blues. And they're made up gems, and I really like the way they look. I really like the way they look. They're different. Yeah. They're wildly different, which goes to show there aren't any mistakes.
No. Yeah. No. And here's the thing, you guys. By the way, I want to say hi to Patty from Guatemala.
I know. I was happy to see Patty. And
make
comments. Say hello if you have a question. I put it in there, peeps. We love it.
Yeah. So what I want to mention about this, Sophie and Becky, is that's what I love about color gems. You know, I have some friends who are international color gem dealers, and I asked them once, why color gems and why not diamonds? And Simon Watt, Lorian Watt of Mayer and Watt, they were like, well, once you've seen a flawless diamond, everything else is just right? If you've seen a colorless, flawless diamond, everything else is just, second rate. But with colored gemstones, you never know what you're going to find. You never know what they're going to pull out of the ground next week or next year or next decade. And when it's done, when it's mined out. So what I like to challenge people to do is do your favorite gemstone, whether it's an aquamarine or you can create your own gemstone. And I would encourage you guys, make a story about it. What would mine be? What would it be named? Mine's going to be a Kinmanite. What would it be? What's the colors? I think mine would be this with some gold shot through it. And then at night, it turns a different color, like alexandrites. It changes color. Where's it found? Is it found in the mountains of Tibet or on the 4th moon of Jupiter, right? And what are its special properties? I think mine sing to me nice lullabies, when I feel stressed. So I would encourage you to make a story about your gemstone.
I love that idea.
Make it your own.
I'm going to have to think.
I wanted to share a comment here. I'm going to share it. Here we go. Priscilla, she said her guild has a monthly challenge around working on the color wheel. And in an earlier one, she said this would be a great challenge for her guild. And I agree. Thank you, Priscilla. What a great idea. Yeah. Getting your whole guild to take, sign up for the class. And then also to know that Becky and MJ both can create this as a workshop for guilds or retailers or stores or private groups. So if you have a group and you want a private event, you can always reach out to us as well about having this, kind of on a more intimate level, I guess.
Well,
Dawn says she loves your designs as well. So that's sweet. Thanks, Dawn.
Well, if you think about it, there's just so much opportunity you can do. Look at Becky's. Becky's has got this wonderful adjacency color. And I chose a complementary color.
Yeah.
And I love complementary colors. And I've been learning a lot about our eyes and how and why we love complementary colors. It's because they're different, or different parts of your eye see different colors. And if you look at one color too long, it gets tired and it seeks out its opposite. And so then it allows those mechanics, the rods, to parts of the cones in your eye to relax, and it looks for others. So when you use complementary colors, you can go back and forth and kind of massage your eyes, basically. And it basically adds that energy because you're moving back and forth between them. And so it adds that kinetic motion between a design.
Which is probably why I like mine hanging next to each other.
Right.
And so if you're just joining us, we're talking with Becky Goldsmith and MJ Kinman, who are both authors, C&T authors, but also instructors on Creative Spark. And this is MJ's first class on Creative Spark. Not her first class in general, but on our platform. And then actually this is Becky's, did I say 7th class? Like Becky has
seventh if you count the free one.
There's a freebie in there. So if you would like to so in case you didn't know that. So yeah, you could go in, and I'm going to put up her link to all of her courses. So if you want to see everything she's teaching, you can, go check that out.
The map. Really.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things in there, but this is the newest one. Becky has been running a live group for Birds in Toyland, and I think group 5 is going to be in November, and I think that's the last live one we're doing. Is that what
the last? Yeah, and then that class will go to just general open.
So if you want to have like interaction with Becky on a there's 4 different live sessions, and that you should check Birds in Toyland out on that one too. So but I have been so excited about this class. I was so excited. We got it finished. We hit the deadline. It was pretty exciting. And this pattern again is exclusive to this class, so you aren't going to be seeing it anywhere else. It's special. So just like these 2 ladies. So anything else you 2 want to mention about classes or things or anything? Are we good?
Becky?
It's a beautiful day outside.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day outside. It's a beautiful day. We're coming up to the winter to make these beautiful quilts, and I love the size. I think this would look beautiful. I plan on making one for my living room. I have this like perfect. It's not too large. Really quickly, Quilting Bug 3. Hey, thanks for the question. Is this the type of freezer paper class that we could learn and then draw our own picture and use the technique to create it? I love this quilt. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, I think so. In both cases, I think, the technique.
Well, in this case, basically, I provide the pattern for you, and so you can. It's all PDF downloads, and so you can print them out, and you'll know that it's all coded, etc. I do teach a class that's all about how to make its own, but we'll get to that another time. But there's a little feedback.
I don't hear it, so you're good. Maybe
good. Okay. And so bottom line, the other thing I wanted to mention about this is perfection is not a priority with my patterns. Why is that? Because light doesn't follow quilters' rules. Gems could care less about the quilt police. All right. I specifically designed my patterns so that the points don't match. That's how gems roll. So basically, you can just do this and you can relax, get your shoulders out of your ears, and just enjoy the process. That's what I want to share with you. It's all about bringing joy back into your quilt studios, folks. That's what
I love that. And MJ does have a book on gemstones for quilts, and then Becky has a lot of books out there. And I put those links in the discussions earlier, so you can click through to CTPub and see what else they have out there. But thank you for joining us, ladies. And I can't wait to see if you make one of these pieces, will you please tag us? We really want to see it. We would love to
with
share
Spring Bling, the hashtag Spring Bling. And
Right.
yeah, it turned out there weren't a lot of hashtags with Spring Bling. I was surprised.
Awesome.
I really was. So hashtag away on your projects, and we love to see them in process too.
Right.
Oh, really quickly, lastly, is that if you have a question when you're in the class, you just hit the discussion room, and these ladies will get back to you on whatever your question is. So join the class, join the fun. Thanks for watching us. And this afternoon, I am talking with Catherine Redford, again, 2 lives in one day, about her butterfly live class that we're going to bring on to Crave Spark in November. So thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Bye, Becky.